What's goody Gucci gang? Um, Not really sure why I am up right now. Cause I mean I know why I'm up. I just got done doing a stream over on the prosperity portal because my ancestors was listen, they told me to do it, so I did it. One thing about me, I'm always gonna be obedient, okay? But basically the message was to goodness gracious, I hope I didn't break that. Okay. The message was to some individuals, specifically people who have just chosen the wrong path. I'll just leave it at that. And found myself getting emotional because, I was feeling the emotion of individuals, I guess. I don't know. Like, I did get emotional at some point just because I'm recognizing, you know, how things could be so much different than me. They could have turned out different in many instances of my journey. And, you know, all through my obedience, I am experiencing something completely different. So, wanted to say this first and foremost. Something with church feels oddly familiar. Um, Dang, I don't know why I'm getting emotional. Like I feel like I'm about to start crying again. Uh, because it feels like what happened is like timeline shifted, right? And I'm not talking about that video that I made yesterday. I'm talking about personally. Uh there was like a path that I was on, or there was somewhere that I was headed, and it was just completely dark, it was completely dark. And like at some point I had got misguided on my journey, and I'm thinking back to, dang, I'm getting so emotional right now. I'm trying to keep myself together. um I'm thinking back to that time when I went to church, uh when everything was just like weighing on me so bad, and I felt like I didn't have nowhere to turn to. And I went to church to get saved. I got saved, and you know, I had these people that was really, like, I really looked up to them because they were really helping me, They were really pouring into me. They were really helping me to get out of that very suicidal mindset that I was in, because I was just tired. I felt like, damn, I don't want to be here no more. And so that's really how I ended up getting saved, because it was either that or death. I literally had a friend at that time steer me to the church. Um, and it's just so interesting that I'm recalling this time now, because I'm thinking back to like the rapture, the things that I read in the Bible, specifically like in Revelations, right? And you keep seeing people talk about these end times, and how things are gonna look, and famine, and plagues, and things like that. And uh it's like we've been experiencing these things though. So I feel like everything that were, I'm not gonna say we, but everything that certain people interpreted in the Bible as like some big grand event where like everybody's just gone and wiped off the planet. I don't think that that's what the Bible was alluding to at all. And the only reason why I'm referencing the Bible, because y'all know how I feel over here on this channel about religion. Is because I feel like it still does have a huge stronghold on people. And I feel like a lot of people, they maneuver through their life because of the fear that's been implanted by way of what they've read in the Bible and how they've been conditioned in the church. And I think about how when I was in the church and I had got saved and baptized and everything, and I thought like, yeah, this is my moment. Like things are about to change. Life is about to get so much better, you know. And it's crazy because it didn't get better, y'all. Like things got worse actually. Like um oddly enough, like as much as people have demonized my gifts, as much as people have tried to turn it into a horrible thing, like these gifts were already activated when I was in church. And actually, they got more activated after I got saved. Because I remember there was this time where, like, I was really trying to work through my depression and everything, and I was real devoted. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, like, I was at church every time they had church. Like, I was at church every time. I had my Bible. I used to always pray. Like, and I'm not saying that I don't pray now, but it's just not the same context, right? But like everything that I did was like by the book. It was according to everything I was being, told to do by the pastor and everything. And it's crazy because there was like this influx of visions of me getting killed, but also visions of like other people that I didn't know who these people were, but like I would see these people that like I didn't know them, but they would like certain things would be happening, like they'd be falling down, or I don't know. It felt like more like analogies, like the visions that I would see felt like analogies, like even when I would see horses a lot, stuff like that, or my dreams they intensified. I was always having like very vivid dreams as a kid and astral traveling, which at that time I didn't know that that's what I was doing. I didn't know I was astral traveling, but when I started to talk about it in the church, like sharing different things with the members of the church, like you got the prophets and all that. Like I would talk to those people, and it's so crazy because they would dismiss me. They would make me feel like there was something wrong with me, or like I just was like confused. I didn't know what was going on, and I think I'm getting emotional about it because it's like, damn, I was bamboozled. You know what I'm saying? Like I was tricked into believing that like there was something wrong with me, or like that what I was experiencing wasn't real. Like that was manipulation. And thinking back to specifically the vision of when I was seeing a vision of me getting killed, I would tell the people in the church about it, what I was experiencing, and they would just, equate it to, well, that's the devil. The devil is, just trying to discourage you. But it's just so interesting because it's like, well, why would the devil be trying to discourage me when I was already suffering before I got saved? And the whole point of me getting saved was so that I wouldn't suffer anymore, so I wouldn't feel lost anymore. And now I'm saved and I'm doing everything that I'm being obedient, right? And now I'm experiencing even more suffering. I'm experiencing even more attacks. It just didn't make no sense to me. And I recognize now what was happening, which is crazy because I still don't understand it, like the logic behind it. Like it don't make sense to me. Like why discourage somebody from walking their path? Why discourage somebody from being tuned into the same gifts that you have? You know, prophets looking at me like as if I'm not worthy to have those gifts that they have because, well, you don't dress the same way or you don't act the same way. I got a lot of slack about, I was just constantly criticized about how I acted. Like, you know, you need to behave like a young lady and you need to dress like a young lady, just constantly being told that, how I wasn't correct according to what it should be if I was going to be a Christian, basically. But it's just so crazy because there was a particular time where I was getting prayed for, and this will happen a lot where I would be going to churches, and it wasn't just always the same church. Obviously, there's multiple different churches that I went to because I felt like, well, damn, this church ain't the right church for me. Let me go to another church. Let me find my church home, right? So I would go to another church and try it out, and not with a biased opinion at all. Just genuinely wanting to be connected spiritually, and then anyway, the pastors would always be praying for me. It was just always like the same pattern of, you know, you got a calling on your life, come down here. Or they wouldn't even tell me to come down. Sometimes they would come and meet me in the pews and just start praying for me. And it would be so odd because I'd be like, damn, I don't want to be put on the spot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was insecure back then. I was a teenager. So, like I didn't want to be put on the spot. Like, I just wanted to go in church and, give my little helping of speak my, dose of spirituality and go, right? But like they would always make it into a thing. And I remember this one time where this was like literally around the time when I was having the vision. Like, it would consistently come to me. I'd be doing just anything, randomly just doing my hair, walking down the street, at the supermarket, whatever, and that vision would just come back to me again of me getting murdered. And I hate to be so you know blunt, but yeah. Anyway, I they told me to come down. I went down to the altar or whatever, and they started praying for me. And like all of a sudden, just something came over me, and it's what I now know is the equivalent of what they call the Holy Spirit, right? But it was weird because it didn't feel. I don't know how to explain it, but it didn't feel good. It didn't feel like I was lightening my load. It felt like I was being weighed down with even more. Um, there was about 4 people around me with their hands on me, praying for me, and getting real passionate, talking real firmly, and speaking in tongues and stuff. And it's so weird because it's almost as if I'm putting myself in that time, like I'm going back to that time as I'm talking about it. But I remember just saying like, oh my gosh, like maybe what I need to do to make this stop, because that's what I felt like. I felt like I want this to stop. Like, what is going on? Maybe what I need to do to make this stop is just do what they're doing and speak in tongues. So I started praying. I was like, I want to do what they're doing. Let me speak in tongues too. Let me speak in tongues. And it's so crazy because like as much as I was trying to speak in tongues, like I couldn't do it. Like I couldn't do it because it was like I was trying to force it. And instead of me speaking in tongues, like I go into this almost like fit of delirium where I am so overcome by emotion. They got the music playing. Y'all know how it goes. They got the somber music playing, and it's all touching your heart and emotional. And then they got the people praying for you, and in the name of Jesus, and I'm like, it's just overwhelming, and I'm out of nowhere. I'm just like, I just start breaking down. Like I go back to like every bad thing that ever happened to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about every traumatic experience, and it's just all coming back to me. And I'm just like, I'm inconsolable. Like you can't even console me. And like by this time, I think I had like I don't think I was like really wearing like makeup like that, but I had mascara on. By this time I done cried off my mascara. Okay, my mascara is all black around my eyes and stuff. Okay, I'm hyperventilating. Like it's a lot. Okay, now I done been up here on this damn altar, down here on this damn floor, with all these people surrounding me for, it feels like hours. And I've been on this damn floor so long that it's time for church to leave. Like they done dismiss folks. Okay, but I'm still there. Yo, I'm laughing now, but it wasn't funny then because I didn't really know what I was experiencing. But Crazy thing is, I'm only speaking from wisdom now. I really truly feel like that was something more than what they were saying. It had nothing to do with loose here. Get out of there, Damon. I gotta laugh now because I'm like, like there was nothing wrong with me. Yeah, I was depressed, but who wouldn't be depressed? Being, coming from the environment that I came from. If you're being physically, mentally, emotionally abused in your environment, you don't think that you're gonna be fucked up in the head a little bit? You don't think you're gonna be a little depressed? You don't think you're gonna have a little bit of low self-esteem? But I wasn't going around doing evil things to people. I wasn't thinking evil things about people. I didn't have ill will. So I knew I wasn't evil. You understand what I'm saying? Evil is someone who their heart is dark. No, my heart was light. I no matter how fucked up my story was, I still was so optimistic. I was depressed, but at the same time, I had this other part of me that was still so optimistic and hopeful. I was a visionary. I could see like a better world for myself, but I just didn't know if that was ever going to be possible for me. But like the visionary in me, like, yeah, I could dream it. I was always daydreaming about a better life and how I was going to be when I got older and the things that I was going to do in the world. I always held on to that desire to want to be better and then make the world better. I held on to that no matter how bad things were. That's how I knew I wasn't evil. But it's almost as if they needed me to believe that. Like they needed me to believe that. And I genuinely believe that if I'm talking about prophets, if I'm talking about evangelists, if I'm talking about people who have been, for years in that position, had time to grow into their gifts, they could see mine too. Not only could they see my gifts, they could see my destiny. And I think that made some of them intimidated. I think it made some of them uncomfortable. And it was all brainwashing. And it worked for some time. And that's why I feel like when it wasn't working anymore, when I got to that point when I started asking questions, I started being more curious. The more I read the Bible, the more questions I would write down, the more I was highlighting in my Bible, the more I was trying to make sense of things because I'm like, I'm reading this, but it wasn't resonating with my soul. Why was that? Why did everybody else seem like they were happy to, just go with whatever was being written or whatever was being said, and that was that? Why did I have a pause in my spirit? Why did I have curiosity? Why did I want to know more? So, not really sure why I'm sharing this. Not really sure why I'm thinking about this. Because it's something that I really rarely think about, but when I do, I have to say that when I chose to leave the church, I chose to leave the church because I had realized that I was in a place where not only was I consistently outcasted the same way that I was being outcasted in the world, but I also wasn't going to get answers. I was going to constantly be dismissed. I was going to constantly be told that everything that I was questioning and everything that I felt and everything that I believed was wrong. Everything I was experiencing was wrong. But I know that that's not true now. It's not true. So the reason why people who are Christian feel bothered by who I've become today is because this wasn't never supposed it was never supposed to happen. Take your time. It wasn't supposed to happen like The plan was for me to be like, I was supposed to get redirected, you know? I was supposed to be led astray, and it was supposed to be a permanence. But instead of me being led astray, I found my own way, because I recognized that if ultimately my desire to come into the church was to experience joy, acceptance, love, and I wasn't experiencing that, well, I might as well just go back to what the fuck I was doing before. You know? Like, before I came to the church, I was just all on my own. I wasn't participating in the worldly things, but I also wasn't, I wasn't subscribed to a religion that ultimately is hypocritical, extremely judgmental. They reject those who are different, those who don't fit the typical mold. Because I wasn't wearing a dress, and, you know, I always had a very silly personality. So when I was younger, I was always cracking jokes and stuff, and just being goofy. They ain't like that. They called that wicked. I feel like it took me some time, and I took my time getting to where I'm at now, but I don't feel like I'm late. I feel like I'm right on time. That's true for others too. Others who never fit in the church, but never fit in the world either. Y'all are right on time. And the proof is, well, look at the world right now. What does the world need now more than ever? Authenticity, love, truth, clarity, honesty, acceptance. Yeah, we're right on time. Interesting, because I got this card in my hand that says bird, eagle, raven, or dove. Significant. This is there's some significance to it, because uh, it's like your messenger animal, your spirit animal, when it comes to messages. Like, when there's something being communicated through the spirit realm, a dove or a raven or an eagle is significant. Now, if it's ravens, I feel like you're somebody who is very drawn to the color black. Like, you wear black a lot of repelling of negative energies, but also you feel safe in black. You you come from a lineage of, hate to say it, but yes, witches. Like, there are at least 3 generations of witches in your bloodline. Now, what does this mean for you? I don't think that you refer to yourself as a witch. I don't think you resonate with that. That's okay. I'm just telling you what I'm picking up, because there's something specific with a vision that you have had recently, or have been having throughout your life. There's some type of vision that is ultimately a prophecy. Okay, it's kind of what I was talking about with the book of Revelations. There's something that that other people are not awakened to yet, but it's essentially showing you the state of humanity now, and how you ultimately are going to be a part of shaping humanity in the future. Everything is a lie. Let the truth unfold. They put a battery in your back. So I know that when I share stuff of this caliber, which I rarely do, I, I don't really get this deep, do I? I be getting deep, but I don't. Goodness gracious, like you are realizing that you went through like a hazing slash. It's like you had to go through the gauntlet. You had to experience like the worst of the worst, right? Because like let's look at it from the perspective of the high priestess, right? The high priestess, in order for her to get to that space of being the high priestess, she had to experience the lows, the lowest of the lows, actually. And then she had to rise up through the ranks, right? So it's something significant about your spiritual ranking and like how, listen, you don't have to prove anything to anybody. You don't have to prove anything to anybody because you know that everything's a lie. And you know that most people who want to be convinced of your power, of your abilities, of your prophecy, like they are consumed by the lies. So they wouldn't be able to recognize truth as it's standing right in front of them because they are seduced by lies. Yeah, there's a lot of people who it's like you can prove to them as much as you want. You could try to prove to them as much as you want, but like they're never going to trust what you say because it's like they're brainwashed by the lies. Like so much to the point to the point of no return though. Okay? All right. I don't know if I'm going to do a second reading. I think I am. I'm going to do another reading. Cuz I don't want it to be too long. So I'll be right back and I'll finish this because there's something with a magician. Okay, I'm not sure if this is like a magician in your family. Okay, but something that the ancestors want you to know about that is, it's not like a fear-based thing. It doesn't feel like they're sharing this with you for anything other than like it's confirming something to you and like you're already prepared. So I don't even have to say like get ready because you're ready. You're like, I don't know why I'm looking at you like this, but like you are like in full armor. Like you know those I don't know if they're from whatever those folks are from medieval times that wear the shields over their face and everything, like I'm seeing you in that form. Like those, what are those people called? They used to do the jousting. Yeah, I'm seeing something like that like that time, that period of time. So I don't know if this is significant, like past life or what, but like, yeah, I'll be right back though. I'll be back. Hey Desmond, I didn't think I was late. I don't know if you were listening, but I never said that I was late. I think I said just the opposite actually. I said that we're all right on time. Thank you for sharing, Jeffrey. All right, I'll be right back.